Stop scrolling. This message did not find you by accident. It was divinely timed, a spiritual disruption sent to catch your attention in the midst of your routine. Archangel Michael is now stepping forward, not with gentle whispers, but with a blade of truth designed to cut through layers of illusion. Something has been hidden in plain sight. It's been buried beneath rehearsed smiles, carefully worded half-truths, and strategic silences meant to make you doubt your own senses. You are not paranoid. That unease in your chest, the sleepless nights, the subtle shift in their eyes when you asked the right question, you felt it because it was genuine. And now, heaven is calling time on the charade. You've been feeling it for a while, moments that didn't quite line up, conversations that left you strangely hollow, memories that feel sticky as if they've been edited after the fact. You tried to dismiss it, telling yourself that you were just being sensitive, that you had misunderstood, or that you were just too tired to think clearly. But no, those were not coincidences. They were signals. Alarms. Warnings that you, in your loyalty and love, kept silencing because you didn't want to believe someone you cared for could wear such a convincing mask. That is the power of deception. It doesn't always seem like a threat. Sometimes it seems like a hug. It sometimes speaks in soft tones, promising healing while gradually poisoning your peace. Archangel Michael steps in when the spiritual cost of remaining quiet becomes too great. He arrives when it is no longer safe to ignore the truth. And make no mistake, this truth is more than just inconvenient, it is piercing. This is not a mistake or misunderstanding. This is about betrayal that was woven into a plan, a betrayal performed with precision. They didn't just stumble into a lie, they designed, crafted, and polished it so well that even you, with your strong intuition and sacred heart, wanted to believe them. Isn't that the part that stings the most? You wanted to believe. You gave them the benefit of the doubt. Give them your time, prayers, and patience. You chalked up red flags to their pain. You called their distance as processing, silence as needing space, and cruelty as just a phase. You didn't just see their potential, you guarded it like a fragile flame, shielding it from the winds they created. But here's what they didn't expect: your kindness wasn't naivety. It was divine strength. What they mistook for weakness was actually grace, and grace always returns with force. That same grace is now glowing with fire. The illusion is crumbling. The curtain is being ripped back. As painful as this is, it is necessary. This is sacred exposure, not to humiliate or destroy, but to set you free. To free you from a web that was never intended for your safety, only your control. You are not the broken one here. Where love was only echoed and never returned. But Archangel Michael is here now, and where he walks, lies die. Where he speaks, illusions dissolve. Take a moment. Breathe. You are being given a revelation that will change everything. You didn't lose your mind, you lost your tolerance for dishonesty. You did not imagine the inconsistencies, they were real. Every time your spirit whispered, "Something is off," heaven was trying to warn you. But, oh, your loyalty was louder. And that loyalty, it is not a curse. It is what sets you apart. You remained soft in a world that hardened around you. You provided love when others offered manipulation. This does not make you gullible. That makes you rare. So now, the truth is here, and it doesn't knock. It enters. It pours in like light through broken glass. You may feel the sting, but you will also feel the shift. You are being released, untethered from the performance that someone tried to trap you in. You are not only walking away from lies, you are rising above them. This is a spiritual upgrade. Archangel Michael does not enter lightly. He appears when heaven decides it is time for truth to reign, and that time, beloved, is now. This is not just heartbreak. It is a revelation. And it didn't happen by accident. What you are experiencing right now, that sudden ache in your spirit, the clarity that stings like cold air on raw skin, is not simply grief. It's an awakening. The betrayal you sensed was not simply emotional. It was calculated. Deliberate. Worse, it was not done in isolation. There were others. Whispers passed behind your back, like secrets wrapped in smiles. Jokes were made at your expense while you sat in silence, doubting your worth. They painted you in a way that suited their guilt, unstable, overly sensitive, anything that would make you easier to dismiss. They didn't just want you to be quiet. They wanted you to be small. But while they plotted behind closed doors and whispered conversations, Spirit was watching, every word they twisted, every truth they buried, and every cruel laugh shared in rooms you were never invited to. Everything was witnessed. They believed that they were in control, playing puppeteer with your reputation and your heart. They didn't expect the divine record to be kept in the unseen. The universe never required your defense, it was already gathering evidence. Now the evidence is rising like smoke from a fire that they swore would never reach you. You were never blind. You were protected. And Archangel Michael is now stepping forward, not in rage, but in justice. Not to stoke your resentment, but to hand you the sword of discernment so you can see clearly what has always been true. This is not about exposing them. It is about remembering you. The lie was never just about their image, it was a cage designed to keep you uncertain, hesitant, and emotionally bent in their favor. They needed you confused to feel powerful. They needed your compassion to become leverage. But they profoundly misjudged your connection to the divine. What they didn't see, or couldn't see, was the fortress of angels standing behind you, quietly taking note, gently waiting for the moment your soul was ready to reclaim itself. So, why now? Why is all of this surfacing in waves, forcing you to confront the pain that you thought you had buried? Because it was never really gone. It was waiting, below the surface of your strength, tucked behind your resilience, until you were ready to stop surviving and begin remembering. You don't need another unreturned apology. You don't need any more reasons to justify their actions. You only need the truth, which is simple. You're not broken. You were betrayed. You're not difficult. You were diminished. And every tear you shed in confusion is being rewritten as a declaration of your awakening. This isn't punishment, it's a sacred restoration. You are not being torn down. You are being rebuilt. You are shedding the version of yourself that excused their cruelty, or their projections like shame, that called abandonment, love, and manipulation, concern. That version of yourself was not weak. She was loyal. He was loving. They were hopeful. And that devotion was never wrong. But now it is turning inward. Your heart is no longer a battlefield for someone else's ego. It is becoming sacred ground for your healing. You might feel the fire of anger, let it burn. You might feel grief deep in your bones, let it rise. The pain is sacred. It is not a setback. It is evidence that you are no longer numb. You're feeling it now because you're finally safe enough to heal it. The betrayal was supposed to break you, but instead it's exposing the truth. You were never difficult to love. You were simply too real for those who relied on illusion. And now, their illusion is crumbling as your light expands. They built a narrative. But God is shaping your destiny. You were never foolish. Do not let their betrayal change the truth about who you are. You weren't naive, you were open-hearted. You led with hope, trust, and the courage that most people avoid. And know, that trust was not wasted. It was witnessed. Heaven recorded every moment you choose love instead of lashing out. Every time you swallow your pain just to keep peace. Every time you believed in someone's goodness, who was secretly counting on your kindness to cover their deception. That was not a weakness. That was sacred strength, rare and radiant power. And now, that power is awakening. What you gave in good faith will be returned, multiplied. What they attempted to steal will be restored, in divine timing. And not just restored, but made stronger, deeper, and untouchable. Because you didn't just survive, you grew. You evolved. You carried wounds but didn't turn them into weapons. And that choice, that integrity, is what distinguishes you. The divine has been watching, not silently, but in preparation. And now, that preparation is shifting into manifestation. The very things they attempted to destroy in you, your voice, your confidence, your ability to love, are brimming with new life. You are not only healing. You are being rebuilt, with fire in your bones and discernment in your spirit. When the full truth emerges, as it will strike like thunder, unexpected and undeniable. It won't simply catch them off guard. It'll set you free. Not just emotionally, but spiritually, mentally, and energetically. You will feel it like air rushing into lungs that didn't even know they were suffocating. This is more than just a truth bomb. It is a divine unlocking. Their lies were never sustainable, they were built on borrowed time. And time, sacred time, has passed. The chains they attempted to place around your spirit are already rusting. The stories they created to twist reality are unraveling under the weight of their own energy. Truth has a frequency that they cannot fake. And now it's reverberating through every space they attempted to control. You do not owe anyone a performance. You do not need to defend your feelings or explain why you loved the way you did. Your healing is louder than any justification. Your peace, the peace you fought for, is proof. Your alignment with truth, clarity, and divine protection, is all the exposure they never expected. You are entering a new timeline, one where you no longer shrink to be accepted. No longer exhaust yourself trying to decipher someone else's emotional sabotage disguised as care. This is more than just a turning point. It is a threshold. And you are already standing in the doorway. Step through. The complete revelation is here. You're about to discover everything that was hidden, everything they hoped would remain hidden under your loyalty and silence. And the truth will not shake you. It will free you. Archangel Michael isn't just telling the truth. He is delivering you. Out of confusion. Out of the fog. Out of the cycle of over-explaining and under-receiving. He's not just showing you what was hidden, he's giving you the sword to cut the last thread. The illusions are unraveling. Soul ties are breaking. The fog is clearing. And what's left is you. Whole. Awake. Unshaken. You are not being broken. You're being broken open so that light can finally enter. So the strength that has been buried under years of spiritual warfare can emerge. This storm you feel rumbling in your chest. It is not chaos. It is the cleansing. It's the earth shifting beneath you, pushing you into alignment. Everything false is falling away, because truth can no longer be delayed. This is not destruction. It is divine direction. And where are you headed next? It is not only a better version of life. This is your real life. Unfiltered. Uncompromised. Unshakable. You're not only healing. You're coming home to your power. And this time, you will not allow anyone to rewrite your worth.